Hi everybody, Ruechel here with this portion of the PCS Journal. So glad you could join us, and joining us right now, Dr. Michael Grego, Superintendent, Pinellas County Schools. So what do you got down there in your lap? What is that? Are we talking about that today?
I hope so. I hope so.
We're glad to have you with us. We're going to be talking about the District Strategic Plan. Very nice cover.
Well, thank you. It's what it's all about, the graduation. But
yeah,
the District Strategic Plan for 18-19, it's going to be approved by the board on September 11th, and the board's had some tremendous input into this, as well as our school administrators. And we've had some focus group meetings and so forth. So we're real proud of this. We put out a strategic plan once a year. We feel very confident. It's a very aggressive plan. It's perhaps the most aggressive plan I've worked with since I've been here as superintendent, so we're real proud of it.
Now, is that something that's required by law, or is that just something you do?
It isn't, but one of the things I believe we do in Pinellas County that's so instrumental is we tie our strategic plan directly to the approval of the budget. And so as we formulate the budget, I know it makes great sense, but a lot of times people and districts aren't doing that. Is we formulate the budget, we're thinking about what we want to accomplish in the strategic plan and vice versa. So we never get to the point of where, well, we couldn't accomplish this because we don't have the money to do that.
Right.
So we're formulating both, and when we have the first public hearing of the budget, we bring draft of the strategic plan. And September 11th, we'll have the second and final hearing for our school budget, and guess what? We're going to be bringing for the final approval of the strategic plan.
At the same time,
At the same time, and we'll go over that and we'll connect it to the budget, not only for the school district, but for the public.
Now, is there a singular theme that is throughout that plan, or is it very complicated? Like if after you explain it, like what the top 5 things are, could you do that, or is that?
I could, but let me tell you, the common theme and the thread in the entire plan is all about student achievement.
Okay.
So we talk about student achievement as the center or the hub of the strategic plan. If we talk about resources and effective use of resources, it all leads back to how you're effectively using resources to produce greater student achievement. Or if we talk about operations, it's all about student achievement. Talk about safety in school or equitable or college and career ready, it's all about student achievement. So the common thread in this strategic plan, and I encourage people to look at our strategic plan. It's on our website.
Right.
It is on our website. It's not that complicated also.
Okay.
And so student achievement is what drives everything. And the other part of the strategic plan you'll see is that under each goal there's specific actionable work plans and people who are assigned those work plans. And we don't wait to the end of the year, but rather we have intermittent assessments. So how are we doing? Are we on track to accomplish this goal in a year or 2 years?
Yeah.
But what we don't do very often is we don't set out these goals for 5 or 10 years, because sometimes they go to sleep as we
well, that's a good way to put it, yeah. And just to repeat them, they are student achievement, learning in a safe environment, equity with excellence for all, career and college readiness, effective and efficient use of resources. Sounds like it's a good read.
When we do all of those, it has to be done through the lens of student achievement.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Bridging the Gap update. This is one of the things I had the pleasure of doing a number of debates. We did 3 of them with all the school board candidates. And this is one of the things that constantly comes up about, how are we doing with bridging the gap? And oftentimes in those debates, sometimes the information that is broadcast out is maybe not exactly accurate. And as one of the hosts, I was listening to some of that kind of stuff. And where are we in terms of bridging the gap? The reality of it, rather than I need to get elected, so I say that it's horrible.
Yeah, well, let's tie the 2 topics together. If you look at our strategic plan for the first time ever, not this year, but actually last year when we first rolled out our Bridging the Gap plan, and let me make it clear, the Bridging the Gap plan is specific to the African American community. For the first time ever, we've taken a plan, we've gone out and we've said very boldly that we're going to narrow and eliminate the African American achievement gap in 10 years. And we've laid out the measures of which to do that, and we laid it out in 6 major areas. Number 1 is to close the achievement gap in the graduation rate. That is, and we've done that in 6 or 7 high schools just this past year.
Great.
And we have another 7 to go, 7 or 8 to go. The second one is student achievement. Are African American students achieving at the same rates, or are they being overrepresented in one area or the other, i.e. struggling areas? The third that we're doing exceedingly well is in advanced coursework. What's the access to advanced coursework? AP, ACE, the IB programs, Cambridge programs, and so forth. Dual enrollment with our state college system. The next is student discipline, and that is the overrepresentation of African American students in suspensions, in-school and out-of-school suspensions and referrals, and those have greatly been reduced. The fifth one is the over-identification of African American students in exceptional student education.
Okay.
And where we're at with that. And the last one is, let's hire more minority African American teachers, leaders. Our percentage of African American administrators, if we have 18% of African American students in our school district, we're very proud of the fact that our administrative pool is about 25, 28%, somewhere in that area. So we're doing well there. What we need is more African American young people to go into the teaching profession to do that. Now, I mentioned those 6 areas, Al. We have made tremendous progress in this last year in 5 of the 6. The one that we've leveled off on, and that is we haven't closed the gap, is under the achievement level. But our math scores are going up for all students. Our math scores are going up for African American students, but they're not accelerated so that the gap is closed. But when we speak specifically about the gap, the graduation rate gap has closed significantly. The advanced coursework I'm extremely proud of, not only for our African American community, but also our Hispanic community too. Student discipline, our rates of referrals are down tremendously, and so are our suspensions. We've embarked on restorative practices throughout our school district, and those things are on our website. And I encourage people to take a look at those, including the statistics I'm speaking about. ESE referrals are down, and also our minority rate hiring is up. We for the first time in several years, we've gone out throughout the nation to recruit and hire African American teachers.
That's great. So this is interesting. I knew that AP was good, advanced placement courses, and the College Board came out with a report that talking about not only why it's good, but it ends up saving you money in the long run. Let's talk about that.
It does, and this is another initiative. Everything's tied to achievement, as you can see, even the few topics that we're discussing here today with our strategic plan. It's in our strategic plan also, but the College Board puts out a report card for each and every school district that's associated, that gives the PSAT, the SAT, and also the AP exams and AP courses. And so we recently received our report card, and it's again another year of increased students taking the advanced placement courses. We've had from last year to this year, a 4.3% increase in the number of students taking the exam, and also a 6.4% increase in the number of students getting 3 or above.
Yeah.
Now, 3 or above means that you've earned college credit, and you mentioned before about the economic. That's about, we take a look at the number of our students in Pinellas County who earned an AP course, maybe IB credits, Cambridge credits, dual enrollment credits. It's about $12.5 million annually. The parents are not having to then double pay when their student gets to some level of post-secondary education.
Yeah. Is there as much pressure as, and I remember back years ago when our kids were in school that there was a lot of pressure to take the APs. Is that in quotes pressure still on, or do people now have their expectations raised saying, yeah, I need to take AP because it's going to help me down the line?
I think the pressure, if we're going to use that term, is the requirement to demonstrate to post-secondary universities that you can be successful at college level courses. Yeah. That's the pressure. The pressure is not necessarily from us. The pressure is how can I access post-secondary education? If you take a look, and we've had this discussion before, the increased competitiveness of getting into University of South Florida, getting into University of Florida, all of the schools. And so what they're looking for is the acceleration of students and the success of students in AP classes. They're also looking for students who step up, and even if they don't get a 3, they still are looking at their transcripts and saying, this student took a chance, this student placed themselves in a college level class. So if they get a 2, they get a 2. but they still benefited from a much more rigorous curriculum.
Absolutely. You know, it's interesting because I get this checklist of things to talk about, and it's always about 90 items long. So I want to run through some of these because this is the good news stuff. Okay, Ridgecrest Elementary earns national recognition as exemplary magnet program.
One of only 21 schools in the nation.
Really?
In 12 states. And we have one other school that has been recognized in our district, and that's Jamerson Magnet School for the engineering. And so Ridgecrest joins it. This is about a 9-month process of evaluations done from an outside source, the Magnet Schools of America Association. So we're real proud of Ridgecrest, and that's the Center for Gifted Studies.
Jamerson is an engineering school?
Yes, the technology
for in elementary?
Yes.
Okay, that sounds amazing to me. Go,
School
wow,
of Technology.
in 3rd grade, you're going to be an
Jamerson.
engineer in 3rd grade.
Well, their curriculum is so
Yeah.
STEM related. And,
yeah.
It's really an exploratory
That's tremendous,
technology.
man. It just surprised me. All right, Tampa Bay Bucks Foundation unveils the Junior Bucks School Program.
Yeah, I want to thank the Buccaneers. Both Superintendent Akins and I went over there. They're impacting, this is their largest rollout ever for the Bucks Foundation, and they're impacting about 200,000 students in the Tampa Bay area. All the elementary schools in Hillsborough and Pinellas, and all of the middle schools in Hillsborough and Pinellas. And they're taking a look at the fitness challenge, the reading challenge, and the flag football challenge for our middle schools. They're providing the equipment, they're providing the curriculum, they're providing they're providing everything. And they're providing some of the players to come out to the schools.
That's cool.
And so we brought some students over to their training facility the other week, and we had a great time.
Have you been over there? That's an impressive place, isn't
I
it?
went over there, and we had some discussions with our students. We watched a little practice. And it was the presentation of this program. So I want to say thank you to the Bucks.
Super, super. Now just win games, guys. That's the key right here. Innovative Media Center. Media centers these days are so different than they were even 20 years ago.
Yes, and if you go into Bel Air Elementary School, you're immediately drawn to their media center. Whenever I visit that school, it's like a magnet to go to the media center. Whenever I go into that media center, kids are doing STEM activity, kids are reading books, what we traditionally think about, but as you said, the media centers are revolutionizing themselves, and I encourage that in our school district. Make it a place to not only meet, but to learn different types of...
And media centers are computer centers, and everybody lives on computers today. Did you know that September is Attendance Awareness Month? You got to go to school. Okay, I've always heard that too. You know, you got to go to school to graduate. You got to go to school to get the grades. So if you just go to school, that's a good start.
Well, the theme there, and here's another thanks to the Juvenile Welfare Board. They really fund this, and it seems ironic that September's attendance, I want every month to be student attendance month, but let's bring a focus early on in the year. And really the theme that the Juvenile Welfare Board and many others are saying, every day counts. In other words, yes, we have to go to school, but we have to go to school Mondays, Fridays, when it's raining, when it's hot. You know, we go to school every single day.
When we have 2 feet of snow in Pinellas County, it can happen for us.
You still have to go to
maybe not, it can't happen. And lastly, a new app for Pinellas County Schools. I know we're running out of time, but I want to mention that. It's called Developed by Focus, helps families access student information on their cell phones and mobile devices.
We're always looking for ways, Al, to better communicate with parents, more accurately communicate with parents. I downloaded this app too, and I'm not a huge app user, but it has everything on it. As a parent, I can take a look at the attendance, the grades, also everything. If there's a message that we need to get out effectively and accurately and quickly to parents, I can do it through that. So more and more parents, I encourage you to sign up and to really become a part of this app. It's free. It's on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, and just search for Pinellas County School District, and you can download this app.
All right. Hey, we're out of time. Dr. Grego, thank you so much for coming by today. And we're back with more after this, so stay with us.